Here's how you get this kind of stutter effect. So there's 4 ways that we can do this. 2 in Ableton and 2 with VSTs. I'll start with the VSTs. The first one was Submerge by Slate Digital. This is a really quick and easy way to get a sidechain effect on any sound. I love it and it's super easy to use. Just like with all Slate Digital effects, the controls are super easy to use, the interface looks great, it's very intuitive, and not only can you just duck the sound, you can obviously morph the shape to give it a really unique sidechain feel. That sounds awesome. We also have types as well, which gives it a whole unique spin on what Submerge can do. So aside from just ducking the sound, you can do high ducks, which is going to be controlling the high end. Same premise for low end. How good does that sound? Sample rate if you want to start to distort the sound. And this is changing where on the sample it's being tweaked. I mean, that alone, you could easily use that on a build-up. Love that. Then a high-pass filter. This is just changing the resonance on that. Same with the low-pass. How good is that? And then you can have a high pass plus a low pass filter together. Same thing for a high pass low pass filter, but obviously we're doing the opposite ends now. This VST is fantastic. It's so intuitive, so easy to control, and on top of that you can do a ton of other things, which alone I could make a video just on Submerge. But the final few things which I think is awesome is the fact that you can have an audio trigger. So routing a sound in, as an example, a kick drum could be triggering when the Submerge kicks in, and then a MIDI trigger as well. Absolute powerhouse of a plugin. And of course you can change it from synced to free, so then you can get really unique sounding effects, almost like an arpeggiator on a sound. I mean, this for a build up is amazing. Absolutely fantastic plugin. The next VST is Trance by KiloHearts. Trance is made to gate and only gate. It's not as technical as Submerge, but damn, it's good at gating. Let's take a listen. That's just default. So really all you're doing is controlling where the steps turn on and off. You can control how many steps there are. These are just different memory libraries, so you can create your own patterns. What I love about Trance, which is slightly unique from other gates, is the fact that you can control the ADSR. So what that means is, whilst we're dialing in the gate, so you can make it really thin. You can change the time. You can add swing, which is also really cool. And as you can see here, with everything that I'm doing, you can automate it from here. Again, another really cool effect if you wanted to dial in some sort of gate effect as a build comes or as a drop progresses. Fantastic plugin, and I use it a lot on my tracks. The final 2 gate effects are actually stock standard in Ableton. The first thing we're going to be using is an Autopan. So with the Autopan, we don't want to move the sound left and right. We want to just give it a gate effect. So if I turn it all the way up, The beauty about this is you can actually control the phase. So if you bring the phase down to 0, now it's just moving the sound up and down in the mono region. That's a good start. We can then put it on timed. And now you can hear, we're starting to get a bit more of that gate effect. The only problem with this is when you put the rate on, depending on what kind of gate effect you want, you'll have to move the offset to fit your flavor. And what I mean by that is, as you can see here, the curves, if it's at 0%, it will start at the top of the curve. So what that means is if you're going for a sidechain effect, you're not going to get that if it's at 0%. So if you put it on 90 or 180 degrees, it will actually start the Autopan at different parts of the curve, giving you more of a ducking effect or an effect that hits on the beat. Completely optional, have a play. If you want a sidechain effect though, you will have to put it at 180. And then to sweeten this up even more, you can use the waveforms to give it a unique sounding effect. So if I put it on a triangle waveform, it's going to sound a lot sharper and stabbier. The last option is with the utility tool and a Max for Live modulator device. I like to use the shaper because you can actually see the curve you're putting in, but I'll show you a few different options. So the first thing you want to do is click map, put it onto the gain. As you can see here, it's moving the volume up from the bottom to the complete top, so it's going to distort the sound. So you want to change it from mod, and then change that down to 50%. So now it's only bringing the volume down all the way to the bottom, up to 0 dB versus all the way up to 24 dB. Now you can kind of get the gist of what's happening here, but the beauty of this is you can actually draw in the curves. It's very similar to what we were doing with the Autopan, but you have more control because you can actually dive in and draw the shape. And then on top of that, you have other features that you wouldn't have with the Autopan. As an example, you can put a jitter on to give it a stuttery feel that is kind of like a bit off kilter. You can offset it to make it only higher up, or you can offset it to be only lower, so the sound doesn't peak past a certain point. Then if you really want to get crazy with this, you can add another device like an LFO, and then from here we can control certain parameters of the shaper to give it a really random, unhuman, sporadic, completely automated effect that you couldn't get if you were just, say, trying to draw in the automation or just using the shaper by itself. As an example, if I put it on manual mode, this is actually controlling where on the shape it's playing. Obviously, if I just leave it, nothing happens. It just plays from at one point. As you can see, I have to move to actually get the shaper to kick in. So we can control this knob by clicking map, put it on manual, and now the LFO is moving it back and forth. The beauty of this is though, you can control the shape. So we could go random, put the rate up. Obviously this is an over exaggeration of what you could do, but it just shows you the kind of controls that you can dive into once you start adding multiple modulators on top of each other. I actually love these stutter effects. It's a really quick and easy way to get a song moving and some ideas flowing. As you can see, I've just got one sample from Splice, and all I'm doing is just cutting it up, putting a bit of a stutter effect, and you can really transition it from being this standard Splice sound to a very unique original sound that you created. If you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me. And of course, it's going to push me to make more of this content. And if there's any questions or any other tips you want me to cover, drop it in the comments below. Peace.